Alright, so, oh man, this episode. This episode is like one big emotional ass kicking, and it is just one big emotional bitch slap to everybody. And, man, if you thought the past look back in the episode was a killer, it was a killer to your emotions, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about till you see this episode. So this episode is pretty much, about Greg telling the story to Steven and Connie about how he learned about fusion when he was living with Rose and the other gems. And it's kind of funny because he finds out because Steven, while they're going through old records, Connie and Steven Greg starts playing one of the records for Connie. Connie and Steven get into, start dancing, and of course they fuse back together to Stevonnie. And of course, this is the first time Greg's ever seen this, so Greg instantly is like, "Oh my god!" And I love the look on Stevonnie's face. It's kind of like if they got caught having sex, and they instantly defuse. So from there, Greg tells the story of how he first discovered fusion. Now this episode isn't like one big world-ending, one giant adventure. It's just another look back into Rose and Greg's life. And I think we're going to see more of these episodes. I definitely think we're going to see a lot more of these episodes in the future. Whenever we want to see Rose again, it'll just be, a story that Greg has, or a story that Pearl or even Garnet or Amethyst have about Rose in the past, and, her and Greg's relationship kind of taking root. Because in that first episode, while it was good, it didn't really answer a lot of questions, because I think a lot of us had a question of, wait, so if Greg and Rose were a thing, how did Pearl feel? She didn't, she didn't take it well. Pearl didn't care much for Greg, as we find out in this episode. But let me talk about the song real quick. The song was awesome. I absolutely loved the song in this episode. It definitely had a feel of Pat Benatar. It definitely had a Pat Benatar feel, and I'm a huge fan of Pat Benatar. Not new Pat Benatar with her husband or whatever. Classic 80s Pat Benatar, like she would look like she could rip your tongue out and shove it up your ass, Pat Benatar. One who did Heartbreaker and Running with the Shadows of the Night. God, those are awesome songs. It just felt like a classic 80s rock ballad, or, again, it felt like, like I said, it felt like a Pat Benatar song, so, yeah, that was really cool, the song between Rose and Greg. And then we had a fusion between Rose and Pearl. Oh my god, we got Rainbow Quartz, and how they fused, I'm pretty sure my inner Tex Avery wolf went off in my head. Especially when they danced, and I'm also pretty sure the entire fandom is now like, are you kidding? No, really, I'm serious. I think the entire I think they're now, at this point, the creators of Steven Universe are trolling us at this point, because we've now seen, Pearl fuse with Amethyst, Amethyst fuse with Garnet, and now we've seen Pearl fuse with Rose. We still have yet to see Garnet and Pearl's fusion. I think that's hilarious that we now have a fusion between Rose and Pearl to create Rainbow Quartz, and I also love the dance is a tribute to Maniac. But yeah, I feel like at this point they're just kind of like, ha ha, you still haven't seen Garnet and Pearl's fusion, ha ha. Yeah. But no, Rose Quartz is going to be very popular in the fan art community. I'm just saying. Not that kind of way. Let me back up. Not that kind of way. Not that kind of way. So, yeah. What else did I want to talk about this episode? Yeah. Pearl's inner jealousy just comes out, and it's clear that her and Greg didn't like one another at the beginning, because, once again, we've kind of seen the past few episodes that Pearl and Rose Pearl was clearly had more of a thing for Rose, had very much a thing for Rose, and again, I think a lot of us we're kind of thinking at this point, wait, if Pearl was so much in love with Rose, how would she feel about Greg? Well, now we know. She was a complete bitch to hurt him. No, really, what she says to him about the whole fusion is like the ultimate connection between gems and all of that, and you're not a gem. And how she said, I was like, Pearl, you're my favorite character in the show, but that is a bitch move. I still like Pearl, but that was just mean. That was just flat out mean. But yeah, so the episode continues on with Greg trying to learn, how to fuse, and he actually gets a lot of he actually gets advice from the most logical person to give advice about fusion, Garnet. And yeah, we also, for the remainder of the episode, get a very wonderful conversation between Rose and Greg about how, because they've been dating for a few months, but they still don't know much about each other. It's just been kind of a fling for both of them. But now, well, for Rose more. But for Greg, he wants to be like, no, I want this to work. And yeah, we both rushed into this, and do we have any idea how this is going to work now? So I really do like that, this does have a very mature way of going about how a relationship works. Yeah. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love the ending conversation between Rose and Greg of how they're going to make this relationship work, because she's over several millennia old, and she's an alien warrior, and he's just a deadbeat, flat-out he's just a deadbeat rock star. Not even that. So, absolutely love that. And again, and also there's something Rose says when Greg asks, have you been in love with humans before? And she says, have you been in love with humans before as well? And Greg says yes, and Rose says yes too. So I'm kind of wondering, who else has Rose been with in the past? Was she hanging out with Alexander the Great? If that's the case, I want to see her riding into battle on Iskandar's chariot. Kudos, because Fate Zero for the win. Much love to my Fate Zero bros. Anyway, so yeah, again, I really want to see, and this kind of goes back to, the gems have been around for a long time, so hopefully maybe we'll get an episode set further in the past of when the gems were on Earth and interacting with human culture. That's an episode I want to see, like them in World War II, or the Crusades, or something like that, and how they were in the past. We also, Rose also says that Garnet, Pearl, and Amethyst are 3 very long stories, and I also love what Greg calls them. I thought that was funny. But yeah, and it looks like Connie and Greg now can Connie can now go to Greg to confide in him, because really Connie and Greg are the two humans are pretty much the two people outside looking in on this whole gem thing. And Greg even says, look, this is, gems and humans are still a new thing, but if you ever want to talk to somebody about it, I'm your guy. So I really like that. I really absolutely love this episode. And I can't wait to, the steam, man, it feels like it's gone by really quick, hasn't it? It just has gone by really quick. It really has. Of just, the Steven bomb's almost over. We've only got one more episode, and then we don't know when the new episodes are coming. Maybe they'll come back after this whole week-long specials. Who knows? But I'm gonna feel bad because we've only had, these new 5 episodes, and then how long until new episodes? Come on! I want new episodes now! Anyway, so you guys tell me, what did you all think of this episode? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.